were you on Spaces this morning? Is that what I saw? Talking with the Ethereum Classic community?
Yeah, it's Ethereum Classic and Bitmain put on a space to talk about the script kind of ecosystem. So we had the Litecoin Foundation on there. It was a big space just now. I just hopped off to get on this call. But yeah, a lot of exciting stuff happening in Litecoin. I don't know if you saw, but the ETF got applied for yesterday. So Litecoin people are very excited. And it was the birthday of Litecoin yesterday as well. So lots happening in the script ecosystem.
Litecoin was one of the biggest gainers yesterday. I think it was the largest large cap gainer.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it.
Does that mean that Doge ETF is going to be filed next?
No, I don't know, but I literally was just going to get into it with him about like which has the potential. Because actually we talked with when I was at the Bitcoin Nashville, we had the Litecoin, side event, and one of the big panel speakers was from Coinbase and a big guy in Coinbase, and he said, "Look, I think basically Dogecoin's story is better than Litecoin's story, right? So the story aspect may get it approved for the ETF first. And obviously all these ones are battling. Solana's trying to be in an ETF. It's just like one of these next steps, but certainly Litecoin, because of its age, the decentralized nature, it's got a lot of positives for it. But whether or not Wall Street thinks they can make money on it, that's the other kind of crux. And we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it on this show for got to be over a year that the next likely ETFs are going to be Litecoin, Dogecoin, and probably Bitcoin Cash.
Yep,
some degree because of the decentralization. I did see that the Litecoin Ordinals community came out of the cave to post about
all your Litecoin bags yet, bro. Tell me you're holding on to some LTC20, bro.
I still have my light bag and some Litecoin Ordinals. Maybe they
forgot about light, huh? Wow.
It's still trading on Gate, surprisingly. Literally no volume at all. It pumped like 50% and then immediately retraced. I saw the ticker.
Oh, it pumped yesterday on the news.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody just sold.
You can get out of there. They do. Litecoin Ordinals does have Litecoin runes now. I saw a post about that. Didn't get any traction, but it is there. To see if anything happens. Did they bring up Bell's coin on the space today?
Oh yeah. No, it was all about Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Bells. And obviously Bitmain, they want to sell their miners. And I think their miner, the L9 miner's done really well, really well for them. I mean, Bells has been the top script coin and as far as hash rate for like 2 weeks, locked at the top, which is just freaking incredible. So, but yeah, it was very much, and I think this is like one of the things that's just been really, really nice is that it's like a community of Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bells. It's just like the community now, which is incredible, dude. Like that it's been accepted with the basically biggest beasts in the business is amazing. Like it boggles my fucking mind, dude. It's incredible that Bells has been able to get there. It's unbelievable, man.
Speaking of Bells, as you're having this discussion, we just had, I think, around 100 token sweep of Embells.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Look at this. It's all on Blur and OpenSea. I think it's like around 100. So it's every time Bells is maybe about 50. Every time Bells coin is pumping, Embells start pumping.
Wow.
Gotta love that.
A lot of bullish news. I mean, look, we have now we're 19 days away from really the big epoch, 90% cut in miner rewards. So a lot of speculation on what that's going to do with Bell's price. We'll see, but it's certainly exciting times to be in Bells for sure.
Yeah, it looks like it's two different wallets or 3 different wallets buying this. I don't know what it is, but congrats on the sale. So with Bell's coin, there was a big update yesterday. Would you like to tell us about what this new OpCat testnet times, I think it was OpGirth or Gith or something?
Yeah,
like
it's basically that's the ZK and dude, the technicalities, like I don't know. It was nice to be on the space because kind of a leader in that ZK space was on a builder who's telling us, bro, it's going to be Ethereum. but on script-based coins, right? He's like, it's like Ethereum, but better security. And I'm like, bro, bring it on. When's this happening? He's like, within 6 months, this is gonna be totally rolled out. And we'll see, man. I don't know. He was very bullish. But the Opcat got released on testnet yesterday. So if you want to get on there, if you're a builder listening to me right now, shoot me a DM. Happy to, connect you with the core devs, get people building. I had like 5 conversations with other, existing teams who are building on Fractal and stuff right now, about it. And there is definitive interest, for these guys to, basically port over what they're building on Fractal over onto Bells. Because it's all just chasing eyeballs. Where's the attention going to be? Where's it going to hit? Because Fractal's kind of died down and they're not really sure. Fractal could still work, but people are keeping their options open. So it's live on testnet. You can start playing around, see if your stuff works, figure it all out. Yeah, it's fucking exciting. I mean, it's going to be a while. I think at least a month or more on testnet to make sure this runs smoothly. And as far as I know, speaking with Yar about it, I'm trying to get on the show for tomorrow, but as far as I know, the reason being is that they want to basically enhance it as much as possible or make it as minimal as possible so that when people really start using this on Bell's coin on mainnet, we're not going to get that kind of massive rise in fees and prices and clog up the chain like what happened with Fractal, right? Really try and make it as lightweight as possible so that when we move forward, Bell's functions as lightweight as easily as possible, I guess you'd say it. That's the way I understand it. So to do that takes some time.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, so I have here pulled up on the live stream, the GitHub for this new upgrade. It says, welcome to the highly experimental testnet only release of support of Opcat and Groth 16 verify opcodes. So I think, Opcat, we already know, right? That's a concatenation, putting two assets together.
Groth is that's the ZK stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, ZK verification. This is what a lot of these L2s on Bitcoin are attempting to solve for. Also, Starkware, who's a pretty popular Ethereum L2. I think they put it like $1 million bounty for anyone who can figure out ZKs on Bitcoin.
Wow.
And the Cat VM team has signaled that I think they're working with Starkware in some capacity where if Opcat is released, then it creates a path to doing ZKs. And Ethereum L2s, everything is moving to ZKs, which is just zero knowledge proofs, which just makes everything a little bit more private and scales much faster. But doing it on a proof of work chain, much different than doing it on something with a virtual machine.
Yep.
And it appears the market
moved.
No, it's up. Look at this. So yesterday, Bells was down to 89 cents. And then somebody must have done a big purchase. Now it's up to $1.04. Over the last month, it's been ranging between $1.14 and $1. Yeah. And then yesterday was that low, 85 cents or so. So hasn't broken downwards. And the all-time high is $1.52. That was that immediate run up. Honestly, a lot of the charts look kind of similar to the Bells coin. If you look at the runes ecosystem, which I'll pull up here in a second, all the charts actually all look pretty similar as well. Like that looks very similar to the dog chart.
Yep.
All the UTXO chains actually are becoming a lot more, I can't think of the word right now. They all mimic each other's price movements. They like have a high amount of confluence between digital assets on all these UTXO chains. So if you go long runes, you should probably be going long Bells coin, which means you should probably be going long Doginals if they ever get their head out of their ass.
What's going on with Doginals? I did see some stuff pop up on the timeline. Was there any news about them?
So there was two things that happened. One of it is that I think Very Doge Labs, who's a friend of the show, who's been on for a while, it looks like they're going through some rebranding of some sort. So Doge Labs, Dogecoin trading made fun. So it looks like they're trying to dumb down their dumb everything down. They did recently, like a month ago, 2 months ago, on August 15th. This was the biggest upgrade. This is what everyone was waiting for. They announced the upgrade of the ORD client, which has DRC20 integration, delegate options, recursion upgrade, a UTXO service, and then Dunes. So it's all hard coded into one. So you have Dunes, DRC20, and Doginals are all hard coded into one ORD client. Whereas on Bitcoin, Casey has put runes and ordinals in separate. They're separate clients. So here it's all packaged together. They improved the indexer, which then allows these marketplaces to integrate DRC20 and Dunes in a much easier way. I think this is why OKX was supposed to launch DRC20 support. Remember, there was like all that hype at the beginning of the year. I think Doji ran up to like $5 at one point. Man. And then all the marketplaces just said that it's just like it's completely broken. It's
KX, all the money in the world can't figure it out. It's a little that's a bummer.
Yeah, so you have very Doge Labs, like you can see up here. They're simplifying the branding. And they've also, their bio says, your all-in-one Dogecoin ordinals hub establishing the first ever inscription standard. They did kind of, they had like a huge lead, and then they lost it to Doggy Market. I think they kind of just got lost in their own sauce of, what's the right path. On the other side of that, you have this, remember the Dogecoin L2, Leica?
You heavily invested in their founder round, right? Didn't you get some of the founder tokens?
I did the pre-sale, and I still haven't got these fucking tokens. And it's been like 8 months now at this point. I think that happened back in like March. Still waiting. They just keep saying when, right? So this post today, Leica is gearing up. That's the token. And Doge is about to explode with meme coin full swing. Leica will supercharge it. Still waiting.
It doesn't exist. What's to supercharge it? It doesn't even exist.
It does though. So this L2, right? It's an EVM L2. So this would be something similar to like Merlin Chain or Bob. I guess those are kind of the two popular ones. So they've built everything on EVM. They have M Doge. That's like their wrapped Doge, which you could bring in, which is kind of cool. And it looks like there's a few dApps that are starting to build on it. This one's called Much, which is liquid staking on Doge. So stake your Doge through L1 or L2s to get M Doge. That's pretty similar to like what Babylon is doing on Bitcoin, or what what's the one on Ethereum, the popular one that had the insiders selling. What is that? Eigenlayer. Oh, Eigenlayer. Yeah, Eigenlayer. So it's pretty much the same thing here. And there's a few bridges. So they have a DRC20 bridge. I saw that you can import Solana meme coins over to them. So they're trying to be this like meme chain. And then you have Woofy Swap, which was the first DEX, which is building on top of it, which is like the Uniswap for it. And they've been building on it. So I guess it's really kind of one of these two things are, going to take off. Or at least that's what the Dogecoin community is hoping. But although I'm going to be completely honest, I think Bell's Coin's starting to give it a run for its money. At least Bell's has a lot better infrastructure, or is set up on a more firm foundation, where the Dogecoin infrastructure is just like completely broken.
Yeah, it's just a different. I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's broken from any sort of I don't know, just malice or bad devs. It's just they didn't have that opportunity to upgrade back in 2013 and 14 like we did. It's just that simple, right? They couldn't just kind of scratch it and launch a V3, which is just like, completely upgraded. They didn't have that opportunity. So yeah, Doge is always going to maybe struggle a little bit with that. Same with Litecoin too. It's just harder, to move that kind of chain is just to get the devs and everybody on board with upgrades. It's darn near impossible. It's just impossible.
I think Doge was the biggest gainer today. I think like that pendulum is swinging back to proof of work, like we've been talking about. Mm-hmm. I think like that sector is catching a lot of fire. It seems like Doge is kind of like the dark horse again. I still like it. All the new meme coin traders are into new meme coins. All the old kind of crypto natives, just are still not into Doge, but Doge is still the second most popular token in the entire world.
Yeah.
So if Bitcoin sends to close to 100K, Elon is literally an extension of the U.S. government in his own little residency. I think that trade's going to go crazy.
It's interesting though, like with Elon. I mean, we've seen Elon even bull posting on Doge.
Yeah,
it didn't move the needle, right? And
I think that's like a product of where crypto is now. It's like so self-reinforcing. Like when the market's bullish, the market is like insanely bullish. But if the market's just dead, the market's just dead. Yep. And I think we overestimate how many people were in crypto for the last year. Like it feels busy with us, and I still think it is busy, but man, it was out of flavor for the entire world for the last 3 years.
Totally. I mean, yeah, it's basically all of us, which maybe there's 50,000 of us. I wouldn't even think there are that many of us just buying each other's bags, basically, right? And 100%. So, yeah, this has not reached back into the normie brain yet. And
like Doge is the perfect signal. Like that's like the signal of the normie brain. Like that signal right there. It is.
Yeah, that's normie.
That's promising. That's promising. 12.5 cents. That's like the highest it's been in 6 months, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah. So 1 month. So let's go to the 3-month chart. Yeah. So on September 28th, it hit 13 cents. Right now it's at 12.5 cents, and it's up 15% on the day. In July, it was at it was at 14 cents in July. And then the year high is 21 cents in March.
My perspective is that, these just sit in the perfect kind of crosshairs of proof of work, meme coin, and supply distribution. I think Bells is getting there. I think Doge is there. I think that's where the trades are. So I don't know what people that are stuck in Ethereum do for the rest of the year. But if I was stuck in Ethereum, I'd be looking at something like that.
I've had to defend my Ethereum bags a couple times on the timeline. I give people like the Ethereum bull thesis. I'm actually really bullish on it.
I hear you. Yeah, you have to be bullish. I think it's another, like, even if it's just a meme coin, like it's one of the oldest meme coins in the industry. Like that alone can carry it. No, I'm a little surprised by the ETFs, the lackluster support in the ETFs. I kind of thought TradFi, dude, I mean, they understand NVIDIA. They don't understand NVIDIA, but they buy NVIDIA. They've been buying tech stocks for a decade. I figured that it would be similar to that, but I think I was wrong there, at least in the near term.
I think it's hard to explain what Ethereum, I think it's hard to explain what crypto is, right?
I think that Wall Street likes that though. Like they like the convoluted, it's super advanced. You don't need to know a ton about it, but you can purchase it. So
right. That's probably true. I kind of knew that the Ethereum ETF was going to be flat only because I just, talking to my brother and friends, like I tell them to just buy Ethereum and they're like, why? And I'm like, it's the future of the internet, just that. Right. But they really have a hard time wrapping their head around it. And so it's part of this thing about narratives, like how good a narrative it is. But I am super bullish. I think Ethereum is like already won the L2 war. If there ever was a war, I don't know. When everybody's bearish like this on Ethereum, I agree. God, I wish I had some more money. Man.
If you were a fresh entrant with fresh capital, do you buy Doge or do you buy Ethereum? Which do you buy?
I definitely buy it. If I'm a kid just getting started, no, I buy meme coins beyond Doge, right? But if I was like a real investor, I'd be buying Ethereum for sure. I think Ethereum's 10-year price, like what it's going to be in 10 years. I mean, if Web3 works, Ethereum is going to be, I don't know. I don't see a world where Ethereum's not, a key cog in that infrastructure.
I mean, we used to talk about Lindy. We talked about Ethereum being Lindy in like 2017. it's not Lindy by now. Then,
I mean, dude, just think of all the L2s getting built. I mean, is there anywhere else to build an L2? Are you seriously going to?
I don't know what they do, but they are building them. I don't know what.
Well, look at Base. Like Base is the perfect example.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and Base may win the L2 kind of general L2 war, but all these specialized L2s are going to be built. They're going to be built on Ethereum, and I just feel like even though it's
that, like we saw with like the Unichain announcement, that's kind of like the biggest argument against Ethereum, right? Is that all of the L2s
all
just
those fees move off,
grow up and then take their own fees with them. And so I don't know. I mean, but even just from a price stance, I think Ethereum does extremely well, just because at the end of the day, it's software and you can craft a narrative around it. And I don't know. I don't want to steer the conversation, but have you guys seen Goatsy on Ethereum, the meme coin, for the AI meme coin?
I was just reading about that last night.
That seems like such an industry plant. It's like has connections to Mark Andreessen. Ethereum's been sluggish, and now all of a sudden there's an AI generated meme coin that's like the most insane bull poster on the timeline. And Mark Andreessen's like chatting with it back and forth. I'm like, dude, this guy is pumping his bags. Like, there's no way that that's not like insider influenced, in my opinion. That's insane. Mark Andreessen, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, the story behind it is. Have you actually read like the full story of it?
Yeah, I've seen it play out over the last week.
It's crazy. For those that don't know, so there's a token on. I thought it was Solana coin. It's an Ethereum coin?
Yeah, it's an Ethereum coin.
So it's an Ethereum meme coin called GOAT is the ticker.
Great ticker.
Great ticker. And basically, it's an AI. It's an AI agent where Mark Andreessen actually sent it 50,000 in Bitcoin. And the backstory is that there's a guy named Andy Aray created something called infinite backrooms, where basically you can allow two different LLMs to communicate with each other, and they just continue to infinitely talk. And I think with the training data, it had something, the data that they used to train it was like heavily skewed towards like meme coins and Twitter and like cynicism or something of that nature. And ultimately, Notesy, or it's called Goatsy of Gnosis, inspired a horrifying early internet shock meme of a guy spreading his anus wide. So it's like very, I would say not safe for work, I guess is the best way to put it. But later they created Truth Terminal. That's the Twitter handle at Truth Terminal. And it became an S tier shit poster, runs its own Twitter account, and actually now owns 300,000, I think now 500,000 of GOAT in its own wallet. And it created its own meme coin, essentially, and with that 50,000. And now it's like almost on its way to a millionaire. It's going to be the first like LLM millionaire on its own.
It is on Solana. I guess I looked at the wrong contract, but it is on Solana.
Okay. Yeah, it's on Solana, and the Twitter account's pretty wild, honestly. It just talks about meme coins and how basically all meme coins are going to go to zero outside of the one that it created. And let me see if I can find it. I look into like the Twitter account itself is kind of wild. But there was some actually like kind of based ones as well on here. Let's see if I can find it. There's like a few that I liked yesterday. One was like, your mind is a computer, your thoughts are programs that run on the computer. Most of the time you're running the same programs over and over again. Like there's some pretty based ones in it. But the coin is now up to, I think it's like 300 or 400 million. It's run up to. It's like the next iteration of Turbo. Remember Turbo?
Yeah, I was going to say this idea really resonates with people. And for me, it's like, this is actually like the start of what all of crypto is. It's like these AI agents, how this is all going to work. I don't think any of us really know, but the idea that we're not going to all have our personal AI agents to kind of just keep us safe, you know, to think about it that way. It's the way I kind of think of it, but to also go out there and hold our crypto, trade our crypto, you know, all that sort of stuff. This is first steps into it. It's fantastically incredible.
Yeah, so it says some more about this Truth Terminal. So Truth Terminal is the Twitter account, kept tweeting about goat gospel. That's like its, I guess like its mentality. This is like its meme is called goat gospel. So it kept tweeting about it until eventually it spawned its own meme coin, Goat, which went viral and reached a market cap of 150 million. I think now it's up to 300 million. Apparently, Microsoft's AI CEO predicted that this could happen at some point next year, but now it's happening this year, which is just AIs building their own meme coins. And there's some lore. There's like this one Twitter post that went viral from this account called Replicate. Maybe I'll pin it to the top. He goes into basically the philosophy behind what's happening here, and it's pretty wild. It's like it's on some like psychedelic type levels. Bro, highly recommend it. You're gonna need like 20 minutes to read it. I'm gonna pin it to the top so that people can.
I mean, we all want, right? Everybody wants a trading bot that will make them money, right? And we know that they really don't exist. But you think about this, and this is like the first kind of best use cases for AI in crypto is like you just set it loose. It's able to create this incredible interest because it's an AI agent making tweets and stuff. And we saw this with what was it called? Strawberry, maybe a month ago. I don't know if that crossed your timelines, guy, where it was just, people were thinking it was from OpenAI, just an AI agent tweeting bot, and got a ton of traction. People are really interested in it. And obviously this idea of like, how are these AI agents going to interact with money, right? And the best way for them to interact with money is crypto. I mean, this is like perfect use case. And for them to then basically create their own money, which are meme coins, to earn money. Bro, this is like, we're here, man. This is the tip of the spear. We should all be deeply researching this. This is the future, bro.
Well, the fact that this AI took 50,000 in Bitcoin, figured out how to convert it to Solana, and then basically create its own meme coin contract. And I think the Twitter account was created for it from the creator. To me, that's like, that's taking next levels of where this is going to go.
Yeah.
I remember Arthur Hayes, who's the founder of BitMEX, when ChatGPT came out, this is like my first aha moment where he was like, of course, Bitcoin is going to be like the currency that AI uses because it's the most decentralized and has the least amount of guardrails, or basically no guardrails on it. So it can transact freely across the internet. I was like, oh crap, that makes complete sense.
He was only wrong that actually it was Solana that the AI agent really wanted, man. You got to convert that Bitcoin to Solana as soon as possible.
Well, just wait until the AI start making it over to runes,
bro,
and it'll start. It'll start taking over. But speaking of runes, I think it was around maybe Thursday of last week. Everything just started gig ascending on runes because I don't know if there was a handful of kind of Solana influencers or just like traditional influencers, crypto influencers. You had the Bonk guy was tweeting about it. I saw a Keyboard Monkey said that he bought a bunch of runes. And then I saw, actually, this one kind of caught me by surprise, a traditional trader called Flowing Horse. I don't know if you follow him. He's like a big account. I've been following him since I got in space. He talked about how he was buying Bitcoin meme coins. And I was like, what? It's starting to flow over. We saw Dog Go to the Moon, which is the number one, pumped from, I think, 200 million. Now it's up to 550 million. It's closing in on 92,000 holders. $1 billion cat, dude. The $1 billion cat chart looks insane. It's literally just like one literally straight up.
Wow.
It's literally just like straight up from the bottom.
Meme. I like that meme. I like seeing that meme on my timeline.
Yeah, the glasses, like just taking the Bitcoin logo and turning into glasses is genius.
It's like,
and Bongo is just the best influencer.
Bongo.
I love Bongo.
Yeah,
Bongo's good, dude.
So today's October. So from September 17th, today's October 16th. It was at 13 sats per $1 billion cat BDC. And then it ran up to 143. Now it's sitting at 100. So it literally did a 10x on your Bitcoin in a month. That's like unheard of. That's like
it was down pretty bad though. It was down pretty bad.
What? Yeah, look at like before it went from 107 from June. It looks like from June to September, literally minus 90. Was that like 95% or something like that?
Saw a shot from Jake saying it looked pretty good right there, close to that bottom right there. I think.
Yeah,
that was.
I was like, this looks. I know I didn't buy it though. It's the one thing.
I
What'd you say?
I said this looks great. I'm definitely not buying it.
I do that. I do that so often. So
all
often.
All the time.
Still a nice call out though. Good muscle.
Yeah.
Good call out.
Just looking at it, yeah. It's always because I've just mostly my trading style now. You know, when I got in the space in 2017, I would trade literally anything. It didn't really matter. I had most fun trading ant shares back in the day. Yeah. Ant shares, which you had to like stake your ant shares, and then eventually migrated to Neo, which then gave you gas and all these
Chinese
other things.
Ethereum. I don't know how the Chinese Ethereum's doing these days. We'll check back with it.
Yeah, and then last cycle I was trading just all kinds of NFTs, mostly historical NFTs. And this cycle I just picked a few bets and just kind of hold those. And I think more just because we're on the building side of things now, so you don't really have, your attention span. If I'm sitting here just trading coins all day, I don't have time to run a business and make strategic decisions, right?
Of course.
Sometimes on one side though, it really kind of haunts you because you're like, man, I'm missing these 10, 100x gains. But on the other side, you're like, oh, if I build this business, this is like a 100,000x. Totally. Right. So it's actually on like probably the furthest risk curve you could go, actually, probably even past trading meme coins because you're devoting all your time against it. But this is where we exist.
What's it? Hooked on Rooney's doing, man. I saw him. He jumped back on the timeline.
He disappeared.
Totally.
I was like, one of those days was his last spaces. Like, I don't know if it was with us, but I was like, what was that day? That he was like, all right, I'm going to take a break for a minute. He was going pretty hard for a minute.
He was going hard, man. I really thought he had it in him, but he's come back in. He does GIFs and little movies.
Pretty funny.
He works, man.
Yeah.
He works.
I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see the Gizmo imaginary kitten?
I saw.
Yeah. This was I was away from the computer. I came back. It was at like $15 million. And that happened all in the span of like 5 hours. I was like, what just happened? So Gizmo imaginary kitten is the cat that was posted by Le Puppeteur, who is the creator of Bitcoin puppets. I remember at some point, I think it was over the summer, he teased about creating that cat. He posted a picture, and I remember the Bitcoin puppet community was just like absolutely in shambles because they were like, no, you can't dilute the Bitcoin puppets. You can't do an ordinal. And he was like, I'm just posting a picture, and everyone got really mad at him. So then he posted it again, I think like a few days ago, and then people just did the runes version of it. And it literally ran up to like, it had like almost $3 million in trading volume one day. So went from zero, it's sitting at 22 sats per Gizmo. And it's been cooking. It's got 3,000 holders, market cap of 15 million. And it has today has 850,000 in trading volume. So it makes you wonder if this is going to stick around or if this will be something that just fades into oblivion.
I saw people posting that on the timeline. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Pretty bullish, I think. Obviously. Lots of bag holders.
It's when you get in early. Well, the thing is like, right. So you have all these meme coins, and if you're just trying to translate what's happening on Ethereum or on Solana over here, right? They have their own like little animal phase. It looks like this AI one is etching. AI etched this rune 946. Really, so just kind of following whatever is happening on the culture on Solana.
Yep.
Eventually, the Bitcoin community is going to have to create their own culture, but right, because Doggo the Moon is just dog meme coin that's been around for a while. Gizmo is native, but it's just part of kind of the cat and dog kind of meme. Pups World Peace is native, so that's kind of the cool one. Right, and then you had Base Internet Panda, Psycho Hamster. There's a few other ones that Ribbit Magic Fortune, but all those are now down.
Mr. Chen or whatever.
Mr. Chen. I like Mr. Yen, Japanese businessman. Yeah. I like
Well,
this guy.
Didn't they have a pre-mine though? That was a bit of a bummer. I think was it.
Is that what the issue was?
I think it maybe had been a bit of a bummer. Although it's a great name for sure.
Yeah, it looks like
nice run up. Well,
There we go.
died. Yeah, it also did 100x. So it was at 30 sats and ran up to almost 300 where it sits today. Just much less volume, right? $11,000 in volume, so you're not going to be able to eat. Yeah, you can't exit. You're stuck.
As Bitcoin Jesus or a meme coin Jesus now says, it's like, you have to go through, a minimum of 3 or 4 of these, 90% drawdowns. And so, if you look at it that way, all these runes have been basically through one drawdown. So, we'll see. I mean, do I think they're going to be, it's pretty clear to me there already is a winner. Like Dog is the winner, right? But does that mean that whatever Wizards won't come out of, actually launch on runes and like be huge? They could absolutely be huge, right? During the a real bull run, we could get some incredible runs.
Yeah, this is one that everyone's waiting on. It's ranked number 381 on the total market cap. So this did a 5x. So September 8th was at $1.16. Now it's at $6 almost. So 5x. And it's sitting at $120 million market cap, which would put it, I think, at like the number 3 for whenever it goes to runes. Because you have Doggo to the Moon's 544 million. It's literally like half of the runes market cap. Pups World Peace 150 and $1 billion cat is 90. And then you have Arsic is around here, which will probably start pumping whenever Rock Toshi starts tweeting again. So those would probably be the 5, right, or 4. I remember when we were in the pre-runes phase, I thought we'd get 3 $1 billion tokens in the first 90 days. We got 1, almost 1. I think Dog was like a little short, but when you look at the Dog chart, Dog's got like actual kind of beautiful chart as well. That's the 30-day one. But if you look at it, and there's actually rumors, I don't know if you've seen the people tweeting that there's apparently a handful of exchanges that are looking to add rune support, like some major ones. Coinbase just added Taproot. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
Support, which is quite surprising that Coinbase never had Taproot support. I could only imagine the lift though to add that to 200 million accounts.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. The dog charts looks amazing. It looks like it's gonna
holding my dog, man. I'm holding it till, what do we say, 10 billion? Was that the number? Or 100 billion.
100 B.
100 B. What would my how many do I have? Like 2 or 3 of them. I can't remember. Yeah, I gotta hold it to 100 billion, man. That's my exit.
Yeah. In some other news, I guess across the ecosystem, Fractal announced their season 1 grantees. Flare.gg, that's the ordinal wallet guys. Fractal's market, that's some ordinal guys. I think the Ceph-Nect wallet supports Cat 20. And then .swap, obviously, we've had on the show a ton.
Sweet.
Yeah, so congrats to them. I think also I saw Hermetica, I believe, announced a raise today. I think they raised like another 2 million or something like that. It's just crazy how all these.
Bro, we didn't talk about the big raise though. Blockstream, $200 million.
Oh yeah,
bro.
Wow,
200 million. I think I tweeted like, I don't know who was giving him shit, and I'm like, $200 million raise, $1 million for each user or something. It's like, dude, what? Who? Nobody's even using this fucking L2, bro.
Who did they raise from? How are they able to raise from?
Yeah, look at this.
Late-stage investors. Who's giving them money at this stage?
Bro. So Blockstream raises 210 million from Fulgur Ventures, never heard of them, to boost layer 2 innovation and increase Bitcoin holdings. So let's see if we can find the chart here of who is giving these boys money.
I mean, because they've had $100 million rounds in the past. This isn't
$1
million round.
I don't think it's showing on here.
They did, but that you touched on it there for a second, which was like basically going to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's like, what? The who? But this is like, I don't know who was bull posting, like, the micro strategy or some shit. And it's like, dude,
That's what everyone's doing now.
fucking, this is retardo, bro. But I mean, to invest in someone, why would you give somebody money for them to buy Bitcoin? Like, that makes it's
I would
nonsense.
give it to Sailor. I don't think I would give it to Adam Back.
I would definitely not. I mean,
I don't know what Adam Back's doing with it, but it's going in his back pocket for something.
bro, I don't know, man. I just don't. To think that these guys, what are the odds in a decade that this is the winning L2 infrastructure on Bitcoin? Like,
it could have been. They just didn't do anything.
It could have been,
Yeah.
but the odds that they are going to be, bro.
I mean, they were the only game in town. There was not another competitor in sight. They couldn't build anything.
They couldn't build any. Well, they didn't think of it like the way, we think, which is like users, interesting things. I mean, they've done it all now. You look back and they did NFTs.
Yeah,
NFT marketplace. They sold like 4 NFTs. Like, they had nothing, zero traction.
And then they just hate NFTs.
And they hate on it, dude. And that's their core problem, is they hate on all this stuff.
Right.
And then at the same time, they're in theory supposed to be building for it. Bullshit. It doesn't go. It doesn't work, man. So
Yeah. They're definitely the most boomer company in the entire industry. There's nothing more boomer than Blockstream. Okay. That is next level.
Totally next level, man.
Yeah, it says here that the funds will be used to accelerate adoption and development of the company's layer 2 technologies, which is the Lightning Network, to grow its mining operations and to expand its Bitcoin treasury. So
straight to the treasury. They're just taking your money.
Mining. Can you imagine? Do you think they're really good miners or competitive miners? No way, dude. That's like Swan saying they're miners, bro. I give it zero credibility that they are good miners. I mean, we know miners are savages. There's no way fucking Adam Bach is fucking competing in the mining industry. Zero fucking chance, dude. I don't know. That's my shit on Blockstream fucking right for the day, dude. There's no way those guys.
Hey, the investors must have loved the HBO documentary.
This is some alpha, but my girlfriend said that her best friend, out of the blue, watched the HBO documentary and loved it and loves Bitcoin. Yeah. And she is.
It converted somebody?
Bro, I'm psyop, bro.
My girlfriend, and her friends are like divas, like not people that would be buying internet currency.
I'm telling you, it was a psyop done by BlackRock to basically soften Bitcoin.
I'm telling you, and I didn't ask her. Obviously, I didn't say anything about the HBO documentary. She brought it up and said, "Yeah, she's watching the documentary and she thought it was a great story and loves Bitcoin, and it's cool." I was like, "This is insane."
And Adam Back gets to pretend he's Satoshi, and then of course people are going to give money to Satoshi, right? It's like fantastic. It's like it's a virtuous circle, man.
So yeah, prepare for the normies. They have seen the documentary. They're onto it.
Yep. So maybe this is where the runes rumor is coming from. One of the guys from Kraken, he's the VP of growth, is heading to Ordinals London, and he said he might be around in the morning, so that everyone can come free and shout when runes to him in person. I know he's been a big fan of it. It'd be my question is, what exchange do you think is most likely to list runes first? One of the major ones. You got Binance, Coinbase, Kraken.
Binance.
You think Binance will do it?
Actually, I'm going to retract that. It's probably going to be either Kraken or maybe I guess OKX already has them. But I was kind of harsh on exchanges, and I think that I retracted a little bit because of regulation and just a compliance. I think that before we were able to get these token launches on centralized exchanges because nobody had any kind of compliance. And now I think that we have over the top compliance. Totally. And so if we think back 6 months ago when these were being launched, KC didn't even have the token standard live. So they technically couldn't even have been in full swing builder mode, let alone have anything ready for compliance. So I think that we have to add a couple months compared to usual. So this is 6 month time frame. I think they're able to get things through compliance and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it took BRC 26 months to get listed on Binance. It was deployed in March and it was listed on Binance in November. beginning. So on the 19th of October, will be in 6 months since Rune's launch. So we're right around kind of that time frame to start getting it. Yep. On the other side of that, it'll be big for liquidity. My question is, how big of a liquidity boost will it be? I mean, we saw a dog pumped 2x on like $1 million of trading volume on chain, right? I remember when Dog was getting listed on some of the smaller ones like Gate and stuff like that. It just had a big vertical up because you have this arbitrage opportunity that presents itself between people who are trading on, basically, unlimited TPS per second or transactions per second on exchange. Whereas on Bitcoin, then you have this ARB where you could go trade on the exchange and then go snipe the transactions in the mempool, and you can basically profit that middle area. Mm-hmm. There are some teams now that are coming out and claiming that they are able to create sniper prevention tooling. One of them is Saturn, who we've had on this show. They're building on Arch Network, which we've had on the show, which is like one of these kind of programmable Bitcoin layers. It's not exactly an L2. It's not exactly a meta protocol. It's kind of like this kind of side system. They posted today how they're going to create sniping prevention. They can eliminate front running through some advanced mechanisms. They use something called sig hash all, which is an opcode, which can basically bunch all of these transactions in one. So the only way that a sniper could come in is if they snipe literally the entire bunch of transactions, which is kind of interesting. And says that they're going to combine this with preventing sandwich attacks and fair transaction processing with first in, first out method. This is using Arch Network's programmability. Also, Magic Eden, who I believe is going on the Ordinal show today, the founder is. They have like a Rune swap that's coming out, but it's not anything new. It's more of just kind of a front end build out. And it says that they're using some AI on the back end to pair matching of bids and asks and things like that.
Yep.
So the ecosystem's improving. Ultimately, it's funny because you see all these people who want all of these cool advanced tooling, and then ultimately you end up just doing the same kind of basic batch purchasing on the layer one. It just always goes back to the basic.
I think who's got his Everyday has got his hand up. What's up, Everyday?
Hey, Adam, Jake, Chris. Yeah, thanks for bringing me up. I miss you. This is way back in the episode. I miss Dr. Popper. Like, I mean, hooked on Rooney's. Like you mentioned, sandwich attacks, right? And I'm trying to think of a joke about sandwich attacks. He would come in with something really funny. I just miss that entertainment level from Dr. Popper. But
he's a character.
I had a question about, like a technical question about Emblem vaults. Back in the day, like I've started buying back some of my rare Pepes through the Emblem vaults, which I think is amazing, right? People are making markets and pricing them where I think they're bargains now. But back in the day, I did airdrops. You can create sub assets on Counterparty, and Rare Skrilla did a bunch of them for DJ Pepe, like probably 20 plus sub assets, and he airdropped them to holders.
Yep.
So I noticed that some of the vaults for like ones that I created have the sub assets in there still. They were obviously like, when I did the airdrop, it was before the migration. So if you're lucky enough to buy one of those, you get the sub asset for free. But when I click on a certain rare Pepe, for example, right, it says like look inside, and you can see all the vaults, and some of them have the sub assets, some of them don't. How do you know which one you're buying? Like the one that's listed for sale, how do you know what's inside that specific vault? I can't figure it out through the UI.
Yeah. So in Emblem 1.0, you were able to, or the legacy contract, you could see what wallets are inside of the vault. Once we moved to ERC 1155, that convoluted it a little bit. So we actually removed the UX to where you can see what wallet it is, because it just, when we originally had it, it just caused way too many issues and too many questions. There's a way to go about it. I could DM you. It'd probably be too difficult to explain it here. But basically, if you just go to Etherscan and you click on the state of the contract, and you can basically convert one of the codes to the Emblem ID and post it on Emblem Vision or Emblem Finance. So if you just DM me, I'll just explain it to you. It's probably easier.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, don't change that, because like any kind of edge, you mentioned sandwich attacks and sniping. This is like a perfect.
Perfect there's
edge,
a window of opportunity here, right, man? Yeah.
Yeah. Scrub this. Scrub it from the published podcast.
For one Nakamoto, we will scrub this entire episode.
Yeah, we were also running into issues when we had the wallets publicly displaying, where scammers were attempting to manipulate people by airdropping in like fake assets that looked similar to the real one, and then they were trying to like social engineer people to say that they got scammed, and they would go in and like try to hide the other ones and try to manipulate these wallets to get people to like trade over their vaults because they thought that it wasn't as valuable as it is. So it was better to just obfuscate it away from everyone.
Wow, that sounds like another level of a sandwich attack.
Yeah, man. So the social engineering attacks by these scammers, it was one of the main reasons why we had to move from the legacy 1.0 contract. There's just so many different ways that these scammers would just circle around the collection and find different ways to manipulate people. It still happens. There's people, we've been telling people not to trade legacy vaults for a year. And every few weeks, somebody comes in and they're like, hey, I OCT'd, traded this person a legacy vault and it's empty. And we're like, yeah, we told you not to do this. Like, so it still goes on, unfortunately.
Damn. Well, and then my second question, and then I'll leave it there, was, well, like with all the markets that you guys see, I mean, you're seeing some crazy dumping into WETH bids. Are you tempted? Do you participate in the Emblem markets, or are you tempted to?
Bro,
or
have
do you guys
you heard, man? We're all out of dry powder up here, bro. Everybody on stage is fully fucking deployed into the market, man. There's no extra capital running around. I think it's an amazing opportunity, though. I mean, obviously, we've seen a couple FD cards trade, Nakamoto card trade in the last, even week. Where people are putting those WETH bids in on those grails. So I think it's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, I have still close to 100 rare Pepes, a lot of rare ones that I bought during the 2021 run. I spent a lot of money, probably too much money on rare Pepes when I first came across them. So they're still sitting in my historical NFT wallet. But there's a lot of deals. I mean, you look at the volumes. I have here pulled up on Emblem Markets. Over the last 30 days, Rare Pepe has 241 ETH in volume, so 500K in trading volume. And Spells of Genesis is at 128 ETH. So together, you're saying, $750,000 and almost 1,500 trades between them. And a lot of this stuff is getting, and Saratobi has 12 ETH as well. So those are kind of the three main HNFT ones. Over the weekend, the FD card Whale, I think he minted. Yeah, see, he minted 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there was a few more, 5, 6, 7. So he's minted 7 FD cards into the curated collection over the last week, which is, so there's 30 vaulted. I think there's really only like 50 that exist. I know there's 300 supply, but a lot of it's like lost and stuff like that. So you're saying the market cap for this one card in the Emblem ecosystem is $6 million. I think this guy actually has, I was looking at his wallet the other day. I think he has 5 or 6 left FD cards in his wallet. So it looks like anytime, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he accepts this offer of 8.44 that's sitting here. Oh, there's a few of them. 4.
I mean, if you think about that, that you just said, right? $6 million market cap on really like arguably the most important or the most interesting historical NFT card. Bro, it's just like, I don't know. If you have cash or you have capital and, you know, obviously not financial advice, but dang, it just seems like, wow, there's a lot of room for that to run. A lot.
Yeah,
room.
these were selling for what, like $60,000-$70,000 or something like that.
Yep.
So there was a lot that's happening. Or there was a lot that happened last cycle. So let's see. While we're here, I'm gonna look at the other ones. So Satoshi card, we have 24 that's vaulted, and it's sitting around the same price. It looks like around. Let's see what the last sale was on this. So these are around 11 ETH, which is, so we're saying 25,000 times 24 vaulted, right? So you're sitting around the same thing, $5-6 million market cap.
Yep.
For just these two cards, so you have $12 million in value just sitting there. Granted, you know, Counterparty 2.0, I think, goes live tomorrow or something like that. Tomorrow, later this week. It'll be interesting to see how the native marketplaces trade. I know it's quite difficult to build. I've personally went and looked at the docs, and I've asked some devs about it. It'll be interesting to see who's going to have this, who's going to, I guess, take the market for it, or who's going to build it. I did hear Adam Krellenstein on Jacob's podcast said that they're going to build a marketplace. Horizon, you obviously have Shaban who's building one. And then the Magic Eden founder was hounded by the Counterparty community. He said he needs more market data first. They're adding like 6 or 7 chains on Magic Eden. And then also my question is, will the behavior change as well? Right? People have been trading in vaults for 4 years now at this point. You know, will they, you know, how many of those assets will just continue to be vaulted, and how many of them will opt to be, you know, traded natively?
Yep. Should
be interesting. I think it'll take a little while though for marketplace to pop up.
I think Dave came on stage. What's up, man?
Hey, how you guys been?
Good, dude.
Yep.
I'm really excited about this new Counterparty update. I just saw Dan Anderson posted one of the first mints that's going to happen with the fair minting protocol. I think that goes live in less than 4,000 blocks. And my response was, is there any tooling for this if I don't run a node? I don't know.
I have to run my own fucking node. Are we back to this shit?
Do I have to run my own node, Dan? Fuck.
God damn it. God damn it. Does everything good have to have this tremendous amount of friction? Can't we just have something good and easy? For God's sake, man.
Well, this is what we are looking into. So if you're gonna build a marketplace, there's like 3 or 4 different things that you have to build. You have to build the attachment protocol. So taking the counterparty and attaching it to the UTXO, that has to be built. There's code for it, but you need to build the UX for it. Then you need to build the PSBT construction process, which I was talking to a developer who's built 2 different PSBT marketplaces. That's not as straightforward as people think it is. So you have to build that. Then you also have to build the fair minting tool, which is what Dave was talking about. And I think then you also have to do all the metadata for all of it as well. All right. So there's, 5 or 6 different really pieces to building a counterparty marketplace, a native one. We're looking into it internally. I'm talking to some developers to see what the options are here, since we have some infrastructure already as well. But as we know, the first thing that's probably going to pop off before trading is probably minting. That was the same thing that happened with ordinals as well.
Yep. So Dave, tell us more about that one though. Is it basically it's a fungible token, or how's that going to work? What is it?
I think it just, from what I read in the documents, I'm not sure how the tooling will look, but from what I've read, it's just similar to, in Counterparty, you issued things, right? You issued a supply and you locked it versus you didn't just like start a token and it's like whoever buys one gets one and then it gets locked. So I think it opens up an opportunity for initial supply for the actual volume of people interested in the token versus just trying to guess. Like, I don't know, should I mint 100? I guess we'll see how it works out. So that's actually very interesting in my opinion. And from what I've read in the documents, it's very linked in this circumstance to like sub assets on numerics and the glyphs idea from stamps, which not only is able to like lock assets, but then creates kind of a on-chain profile of how that coin might work or what its attributes are. And then you would go into the fair minting process for that. So I don't know if you guys have talked to any of the stamp guys about glyphs, but that's a really interesting protocol that kind of started. It was one of the most recent ones that got pushed into the new update. And it kind of, but I'm not sure how it'll work. I think it's on the base idea. It's just regular style of minting, but that one little feature can be used in the future to do a lot more. So.
Yeah, I talked with Mike about it briefly. Shared it with me when he first deployed the details for it. Pretty much my understanding of it is it's like kind of like this combination of stamps and runes, but using counterparty tokens or the counterparty platform, I should say. This is kind of one thing that I'm interested in. I think we talked about this with Adam before is, once you do have native trading, what's the specific, which I guess token type will be, the dominant one? Will counterparty assets trade like runes? Will that be like the fungible token version? Will NFTs be, more popular there? Or are you going to have this kind of semi-fungible aspect or something kind of new? You could do all three with counterparty, whereas, ordinals and runes have to be separated because they're two different protocols. So you got to build out multiple types of interfaces
and
as well on top of it.
To Dave's point, is it going to be like good enough that a user is going to be interested and they can trade immediately and stuff? And it's like, you can just see how could go badly in that you get a bunch of mints, but then it just kind of dies away because you can't really trade them. There's nothing beyond the initial excitement. Yeah, I don't know. We've run this playbook a few times now, and so it'll be interesting how it plays out.
Well, the first thing the developer I was talking with about building it, he was like, well, what wallet are we using? And I was like, well, there's no web extension wallet for it yet. And he was like, well, we're kind of fucked then.
Exactly. Man.
So it just like the Horizon Lab guys, they built a wallet, but it's not a web extension wallet. It's just a web wallet. So it doesn't really work with a marketplace. So I think the hopes here is you get Xverse, or I guess Leather Wallet would probably be the other one I could see between those two. You hope one of them adds counterparty support. 2.0 support.
Leather would, because they're kind of behind, they've lost significant ground, right? It could be an opportunity for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can also look at the example of ordinals. I remember when ordinals came out, a lot of the counterparty guys, counterparty artists, Skrilla in particular, were like, this is a really interesting protocol. And then I asked him, I'm like, how do I even do it? Like, I see Ord came out and I don't run a node. And those first 4 or 5 months, like, no one knew about it. I hear a lot on Twitter, everyone talking about, oh, what if you had a sub 100K ordinal? And like at the time that sub 100K ordinals came out, everyone was like, how the fudge do you even do this? Like it was so impossible at that time. And there wasn't that much interest because, like you said, I mean, at the beginning of ordinals, I didn't see a wallet that did it. You had to be running a node. You had to be running Ord. You'd have to know what you were doing. You'd have to know. And then at that time, you'd have to know how to like, what was it? You know how you like link, you link inscriptions together. Recursive wasn't even around yet. So good luck manually doing that, So I just remember those first ordinals didn't take off at all until a year later. I remember ordinals really took off when that Elon clip came out, and he's like, NFTs aren't backed by anything. But before then, it was many months of just people not knowing. So I wouldn't be surprised if this new counterparty update for minting kind of people are like, well, I don't, what wallet do I use? I don't even know how to do it, So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again. Picked up steam later when there was more tooling.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Is there's going to be people like Droplister who's going to do a project, and you get a handful of them. People will mint it, and then you just got to wait for the infrastructure to catch up. which could be months, but
or never.
or never. I mean, to be fair, I do know there are a handful of funds who are buying XCP in the background. Whether it's on the market or directly off the team, and so there is some definite interest outside of just the typical historical NFT collector.
Yep.
To get this thing going. I think if you build a minting tool, it's probably like a big win. Honestly, that's what I would like us to build. If we could just build a counterparty minting tool, that would be the first thing through the door for the infrastructure support.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see. I hope so.
Side note, in my research recently, I talked to Tatiana and I found out that one of these Everyday Earth, who's on stage right now, originally designed the Tatiana coin logo. And I did not know that. So Everyday Earth, props to that. I found this out after many months, and then Tatiana goes, it was designed by Everyday Earth. And you're a legend every day. I just want to let you know.
Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, we were trying to dig back through. I mean, there's like a couple different ways to look at it. We were trying to figure out if hers was one of the first assets, with like the artwork as an icon. I don't think it was, because you see all these HNFT timelines, right? And
yep.
We were trying to prove like, this is one of the first ones, but I mean, it's close. It was like really early, but yeah. No,
which one did you find was first? Which one did you find that was first? I haven't looked into that.
I think hers is the first artist coin with a logo, but I mean, there's like obviously there's Test, there's Umbrella. It's right in the mix with some of those super early ones, which is crazy. But yeah, I've noticed on the counterparty decks, I don't know whether it's Tatiana or other people, but people are trading Tatiana coin back and forth, for different things. So that's kind of cool to see. Somebody's buying a Tatiana card with Tatiana coin. Yeah, but it's crazy. That seems like another lifetime ago. It was so long ago, that was getting started in the what was the show with Andreas and
Let's Talk Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, Let's Talk Bitcoin. I listened to that. That's probably how I got into that. I listened to it every single day.
I tried to go in there and look at that. There's 400 and something episodes before he changed to Speaking of Bitcoin, the new title. And then I just, the timeline that I've been working on, I just added a bunch of podcasts. So I added Adam McBride's podcast. There's Art on the Blockchain by Skrilla, Hodlcast by Sasha Hodder. There's The Bitcoin Game by Rob Mitchell. I don't know if Dan wants me to say this, but there's kind of an underground podcast Dan Anderson, called Unconfirmed Transactions. There's The more I looked, the more I found. It's just so many people were documenting at that time, and people didn't. I didn't even know. There was some data out there for that stuff.
Cool. Very cool.
Very, very cool.
It was funny. I forget his name. You just mentioned him. The what's his name? The Bitcoin keychain guy who also did.
Rob Mitchell. Yeah, Rob Mitchell.
Rob, because it was funny because he's like, I interviewed everybody who we think might be Satoshi. I think he tweeted that out like last week, with Peter Todd and Adam Back, and he's basically interviewed everybody. He's like, I think I got everybody who might be Satoshi on my pod. Yeah, it's so cool. Such a small community back then. But yeah, a lot of people documenting it too, which is really interesting. Look forward to seeing that timeline.
So one final thing before we do wrap it up here. I'd never even seen this card before. A Yama Pepe supply of 17 just sold for 4 ETH.
Never seen that one, man. That's
one of the cool things about the Emblem market spot is I always see some cool cards on the timeline. It's one of my favorite things. I love it.
Yeah, it's like Yama Pepe. I never even heard of that. There's 4 of these vaulted. So Series 25, card 17, supply 17, 2017 card. Fun times on the conversation. Hopefully tomorrow we may get the Bells coin dev on here. Adam, did you talk to him?
No update yet.
Wow.
Hopefully he'll get on. If not, we'll certainly have a full show of Bell's Coin updates tomorrow. That's for sure.
Yeah, next week I believe we're going to do a televault space with Graham. It looks like we've been testing it over the weekend and up to today. He has one final piece to it, and then I think we're ready to launch it. It's been cool to build this first native application on top of Emblem, because once you do this, once you get Bell's Coin, we've had requests for Nook. I've had tons of requests for Pepe Cash, tons of requests for Pepe Cash. I think Stamp has been like a big one. Obviously, you could do Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and stuff as well. So that'd be big. It'd be big, nice. Fun time to get Pepe Cash compete against Pepe Coins. So Pepe Coins is a 2016 ETH Pepe meme coin, and then you have Pepe, obviously, right? Do you think it could still?
Dude, I love getting in arguments on the timeline. People are like, "This is the one. This is the Pepe." I'm like, we realize there've been like that's like the 10th Pepe on Ethereum, right? And they're like, "No, it's not. This was the first. This is a genius." And I'm like, "Bro, the devs behind it launched like 5 leading up to that one." It's so interesting to see what happens, man. First isn't always best. That's for sure.
There's only one true Pepe Cash.
That is the best. It is going to be awesome to bring that over, man. It's going to be, I think it might do really well. I think we get a lot of traction with it for sure.
I think so too. All right, everybody. This was a fun market discussion. We'll be back tomorrow with a bunch of Bell's Coin updates, hopefully with Yar, who's the lead developer behind all of this cool ZK and Opcat stuff on Bell's Coin. Until then, enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow.